Na huyu ako na story ya 37.
You dated a 37-year-old person?
I did not date. I attempted to.
Wachana na kucheza na kizungu. What were you doing with your grandfather? Tell us the story.
No,
like anzia from scratch.
Hey wadau, this right here is one of the shows Tumwambia we are bringing on the platform.
If a man makes you feel butterflies, run.
Those are.
Why is your stomach shaking? You should feel safe. You should feel protected. You should feel secure and calm, you know.
This is the Institute of Character Development.
Most people are as faithful as their options.
That's painful because it's true, because when a man gets money, hakunaga Viagra kwa wanaume kama pesa. Bebe, my pastor once said, you're not humble, you're just broke.
On the episode Leo, we have Adah.
Whenever we used to fight, I feel like the next day I would love him even
Isn't
more.
that toxicity?
No, as in tuta fight and then we would come together and talk about it and then kutakuwa dina a certain change of mood. I don't know how to explain
And
it.
you're talking about it in a past tense. Why are you not together? Yet it was working.
We have Miss Kahiro.
It happened. He was 37. Oh, wow, surprise. But I had already liked him. But then now, the diabolical started happening. Hiyo kutritiwa kama mtu.
How old were you?
And Annita Raey is also in the house.
On a personal state.
Personal whatever.
Do you feel like you need marriage for kids?
That's a good question.
It's a sad thing, and the reason I say this is because people enter marriage with the clause of exiting. People no longer enter marriage as a lifelong commitment. It's a service-long commitment nowadays. How long are you going to serve me? How long are we serving each other? That's a problem.
Hey, wadau, we've promised that tuna expand our platform. We're introducing other like-minded content creators, and this is one of those shows that I believe mtapenda sana on the platform. This is the Institute of Character Development, and our hosts ni Miss Kahiro, na Adah herself, Gen Z Pro Max.
Yes.
Alafu leo tuko na guest. Our guest on this episode is Annita Raey. Annita Raey is always good vibes. Hiki erede yangu tu ni, we are just introducing the show. I'm not even supposed to be part of this show. These conversations can run for themselves. Alafu, I believe, nyinyi ndio mnafaa kuanzisha conversation, but I believe the best way to start. I don't know who Bumpy. Ni Bumpy na nani?
Sophia.
Bumpy na Sophia.
Yeah. Sophia and Bumpy.
Sawa, character developers. Take us through the story. Bumpy na Sophia ni nani?
Bumpy na Sophia. Everyone and their mother has had this story. Sijui we uko dunia gani, uncle. But Sophia and Bumpy. Sophia is a 20-year-old, okay? Who gets married to a 31-year-old man. Hapo in between, kuna manipulation, lies, cheating, threesomes, talks.
Violence.
Oh my God, it's a lot. So the question is, meaning ningetaka kujua, especially from Raey, how does the age gap, how important is, nimepotea.
Can I take you back? So, from his story, Sophia and Bumpy, our question would be, does the way you're brought up, does it influence the relationships you get yourself into? Can it even determine the marriage you'll get into?
First of all, kitu yenye naweza taka mnidefine, because the generation gap is real.
Yeah.
Marriage ni nini according to you? What is marriage according to you?
Personally, I'm still trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Because umesema they were married.
They were married. Well, the
stay?
elders met. That's how they defined marriage.
Kwa mama yangu,
It was not legal. I don't think they went to the AG. It was not church.
So for you, that's marriage.
According to Sophia.
And you?
Oh, I love this question. Today I learned that people often mistake marriage and a wedding.
Okay.
A wedding is an event.
An occasion.
And most people spend most of their time thinking or anticipating their wedding. Unaona? Wanaonanga, like them they'll be worried. What dress will I wear? Venue gani nitatumia? Like, instead of actually worrying, haya, this is a long-time commitment with this person. How is it going to be along the line? So today I learned there's a difference between the two and people can't differentiate the two.
Okay. Anita, your story, you actually have written a book.
Yes, I have.
Na watu by the way wanafaa kujua Anita's book Unseen iko Nuria. Na in fact the chapters ziko na, I don't know, uli consult na nani on the chapters? Broken bedrooms, high on love and drugs, betrayal and lies. Okay, death said no, that's scary. In fact, I started with marry a stranger. But then kwa marry a stranger, in the description of the book, you start by, you got married at 17.
17.
I think that answers the question, ya Miss Kahiro, yeah, whether age gap matters. How did getting married at 17 ilikuwa affectaje?
Of course, I was a child.
Were you the developer or the developee?
Hapo nilidevelopiwa. He was 10 years old, number one. And I was a child. Na shida ya kuwa mtoi atagrow. Yeye aliwa mtoi proper. And the one thing I was looking for in my marriage is a parent, unknowingly. I wanted to be told what to do. I wanted to be guided. I wanted to be... But then I grew. And I got to a point of, I want to think for myself. No, that was our biggest problem. When I said, I want to do... But you see, then, I honestly had no idea what marriage was. And the model I had of marriage was not a good one. I grew up in an abusive home. So the model I had is the model that came into my life. That's to answer Ada. What I grew up seeing as a child happened to me, and I thought it's okay. Because it was a lot of violence, a lot of alcohol, and I never saw the problem because I grew up like that. Until when it got so bad, and I remembered, it actually came from my neighbors. Anita, you're a child. This is a lot. That was when I was 21, and I had my son at 19. So getting married too young, you have no idea what marriage is. You see, marriage is a commitment, and you enter marriage, it should not have an exit clause.
Yeah.
But then this generation enters with the exit clause so early enough. That's why they have a prenup. Just in case it doesn't work out, we done. Me, when I entered marriage, I didn't know there's an exit. My exit came from one, I was really a child when I got married. Over the time, I grew. So I started asking questions. At first, the first year, I won't lie to you guys, I asked nothing. The second year, I was like, I have to ask. And me, I tell people, I might be a wife material, mdomo ndio shida. So the asking is there, you know, like, mbona come late, mbona lewa, mbona... This man is like, why are you asking me now? You know, why? And I remember when I wanted to get my first job, he said no. He was like, I want you to stay at home. I was like, but I don't want to stay at home. So it was a lot of, I grew up and he couldn't handle. This guy, up to date, still says, he's still being some 17. When he's addressing me, he talks to me, he talks down on me like I'm a child.
Do you think if you would have agreed to stay home, it would have worked? Because
most probably, yeah, if I would have been a submissive wife according to him, the girl he married, you get... Don't change, don't ask questions, don't grow, all right? Don't be the 17-year-old I'm married.
Na unajua, that's the same issue tulikuwa na discuss na Ada, anasema mimi ni radical. I told Ada, and you said in your point, ukasema, when you marry a child, the child grows.
Yeah.
Ada, people want different things at different times.
Yeah, true.
Ada, amini hiyo
True,
story.
it's true.
Ada anasema, I will be married, I will be in love, nini.
Uongo, Kingori.
But honestly, as Kingori said, I hope people understand that the person you marry today, you have to learn to love them, a new person, a new version of them every year. Uliowa mse hana mtoi, next year atakuwa na mtoi, next year atakuwa na watoi wawili. Every year there are different versions of themselves. So marriage is a commitment to love the same person and their new version every time. Akikuja na version yenye, I mean, itafika mahali mtafika kwa menopause, the hormones are everywhere. Itafika mahali na go through maybe stress. You have to agree this person will change. It's change is the inevitable. The problem is marrying someone and expecting them to stay the same. That's mental.
So do you think children then should marry children and oldies should marry oldies?
Who are oldies?
Hawa wako na allergy ya uzee. Can you imagine oldies wanaanzia wapi?
Usiniambie niko hapo.
Ni kama watafika hapo.
No. Oldies hawaanzi 30.
Wanaanza wapi?
Kedo 37 or 38.
This is not working. Don't call us old. What is the old in that?
No. Depending na miaka yako. If you're 22, a 37-year-old is an oldie for you.
I think apana Kingori tu inamwasha. I think Kingori can't accept the fact that anazeeka. I think that's your problem, Kingori.
No, kuzeeka is one thing, kuto old is another thing.
But kwani mzee is
don't
equal to old.
Are we calling you young?
Ameshaniita ancestor in denial. Na huyu ako na story ya 37. She has a story. Hapa 37 kuna
Hapa amekuwa
kwa 37, I feel like I was treated like a child, you know. Now, najiangalia hivi kwa kioo.
You dated a 37-year-old person?
I did not date. I attempted to.
How old were you
Wachana
then?
na kucheza na kizungu. What were you doing with your grandfather? Tell us the story.
No,
Like anzia from scratch.
Sir, I just met this guy and he looked good. It happened. He was 37. Oh, wow, surprise. But I had already liked him. But then now, the diabolical started happening. Iyo kutritiwa kama mtoi.
How old were you?
5. Lakini mambo ya juzi.
That's a 12-year. That's
a 12-year
old.
gap.
That's not too old.
It's not too old, sindo. But then the treatment like a child.
But maybe you are
Let me give you an
Apana.
example of the things that, let's say ata story si yangu, but let's forget that part.
We can't forget but sawa.
So, we are trying to know each other, yeah? I'll tell him something like, so I've done this project. Actually, I'm on Netflix, which is true. But it goes like, he chuckles and goes like, unaona saa yoyote kikama hapa unayacha pale. What do you actually mean? Kwani how do oldies know each other? Me, Abu, you'll be interested in my projects. Unafaa kuwa ukirukaruka juu sana vile I'm on Netflix. Because that's important to me. And you can see how enthusiastic I am about
First of all,
my
unafaa
stuff.
ujue.
Why would you ninio me down like that?
Chances
kama
are, mse wako wa
nimeumia bado.
37, Netflix is the digital version ya video library. So labda hata ajui yo Netflix.
Let's not say that.
Labda
Let's
hata
not
ajui yo
say
nini.
that.
Na hii kitu ya utaki kuambiwa ati being treated like a child. I thought, sijui kama mimi nilikwambia ama Adah is a baby girl by default.
girl.
Isn't
Kuna
that
baby
what you
girl
want?
na
Okay,
mtoto.
mnatakanga nini?
Kuna baby girl na mtoto.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
I feel like kuna those men who like grooming women. Since you're younger than them, wanaona wewe ni mnyonge, they want to tell you what to do. Like there's that type of men. But as we want mtu mwenye take care of us, love us, treat me nicely, talk to me nicely, nibembeleze jamani.
You have to decide what the difference is because that is being treated like a
No,
child.
there's a
Exactly.
difference.
You people don't know what
There's
you want.
a difference.
First of all, that 7-year-old was not interested in you, period. Just cut out. A man who's interested in
camera.
you. That's the truth.
Okay, sawa, and that's fine. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
But we are mature people, you and I. So I don't understand then why we are here in the first place. If you're not interested with me, why am I in this date? Why was I invited to this
why
date?
are you there? The question is, why are you
Because I
there?
liked them. Okay? He liked me at the beginning, it seems. Yeah? And that's why we're in this date, because I've been invited to a date. Therefore, I know, or I'm being given signs that I'm liked.
How did it end?
How did it?
End.
See, I left.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there ain't no
Ile
way.
clause ya exit clause.
Exactly, because first of all, let me tell you something. A man who's interested in you will spend time. I keep saying a man doesn't spend money on you. He spends time in you. He invests time in you. He gets to know you, what you like, what makes you smile, what makes you happy. If a man straight up tells you, acha vitu zako huko, please just leave on the spot. Because vitu zako ni wewe. The problem with your generation is the nonsense of compromising, of wanting to see where it goes. It goes nowhere.
True. Yeah.
It goes, if a man straight up tells you, I don't like what you're doing, then what are you doing there?
In fact, akumwambia he doesn't like what she's doing. Alimwambia unaona ukiingia hapa.
Iache huko.
Iache hapo nje ya mlango.
What is
That's
that?
very demeaning.
And it is actually. And then you
Yeah.
still sat in the date.
Honey, chill. Chill.
I'm just saying.
I left at the end of the day. I feel like I quite messing.
Yeah.
You know, because I was really bado kwa the high. This is a new person. I'm in the date. I've just been told this thing, yeah. Nilirudi home ndo nika reflect nini yo nimeambiwa kusema tu kweli wa the Lord. And there were just many two things like that. In a span of 3 weeks, I met him, saw him, and left him in a span of 3 weeks.
In a relationship ya 3 weeks.
See, ndo
Imagine.
maana nikakwambia I attempted to date them. I didn't actually date them. There was no chance to date
unajua
them.
you ladies, and this is actually something I've learned. Kuna ukiuliza dem, like how many people have you dated? Watasema 3, standard number. Okay. I've noticed that there are people you don't count. Ni hawa.
Hey,
Like
those don't
who
count.
counts? Who counts to have been dated? Who counts? Like 3 weeks, it's attempt. Who counts?
Kuna some things you don't need to claim.
Kama, what's the threshold? What's the threshold? Like, I was in a relationship. What's the
For how
threshold?
long?
Yeah. Now, this is my ex. I dated this person.
Me, kwanza, it depends on a lot of things. To date for how long? Did I really like you? Did you
ask me to be your girlfriend?
Mse, vitu zingine tu nasema, oh yeah, like, yeah, we were together, but it wasn't anything. You can't claim everyone. Sasa utakuwa unaambianga watu, I dated 20 people.
No.
No.
We're just getting to know each other.
Yeah, we were knowing each other.
So
We're just people in the world roaming around.
So you guys are confirming that it's true. Dem akikwambia they've dated 3 people, you multiply by 10.
Just don't do the math. Why are you doing the math? Inakusaidia na nini? See you are here. See we are talking. What's everything else is noise.
The
Why do you want to
definition of
know
dating is
about
quite
that?
is different. Dating is not necessarily getting into a relationship with someone. I hope we can clarify
Yes.
that. If I say I'm dating someone, I'm going on dates with them. But for me, I'm old school. I believe we can go for a date every day for a year. But unless you ask me, can you be my girlfriend? I'm single.
I agree. True.
Unajua tulikuwa before you come in tulikuwa na smart joker on the show and this was one of my favorite episodes to ever do at Nation. And he says that dating is what sabotaged marriages.
How so?
Like, what are you dating for? Ni nini mnatafuta
Si
kujua?
dating wazee ndio mnaita courting. Sorry.
No.
No?
Kingori ameumia.
Wacha nilenge ni kama sijasikia hiyo. But I think people agreed with that point. Yeah, dating is what nini relationships. Unakutana na mtu, you should tell them like, ama you should know like, I like this person, twende tukae pamoja, we can fix everything that comes. So like I have one of my, I think, deepest character development stories is someone I liked very much, very, very much, and they were from a different culture, the kinds of culture that the family cannot accept Africans, right? And that's the, I think, sweet breakup. Yeah, we vibed for a very long time, and then we vibed sana, and then you're like, hey, the day she said like, hey, Mazi, let's do this. Like, she agreed to do this. She said that in the morning, and then we broke up in the afternoon. So like, she checked with the family.
They were like, nah.
Norma. And I really liked the person. And she got married to the cousin. Yes. It's those cultures.
Yeah.
And unaangalia, like, for them, it doesn't matter whether you love the person. They believe that whoever you're set up na yeye, you'll grow to love them. And somehow wanasema those relationships work better and they have a lower divorce rate.
Because if you marry based on love, it's a feeling. It's an emotion.
Feelings fleet.
It can fade away. That's one of my biggest stands, and people don't like it. Love is the smallest part of a marriage.
Adah doesn't like it.
No, let me tell you something. I know we have fantasies. Oh, I want to feel butterfly. If a man makes you feel butterflies, run.
Those are
Why is your stomach shaking? You should feel safe. You should feel protected.
Agreed.
You should feel secure and calm, you know. But then we have based this nonsense of, it's very Western for me. Oh, I have to be fully in love with you. No. Actually, being in love is the least thing that I should be with you. I should be able to respect you. I should be able to honor you. I should be able to agree to disagree with you and not get into a fight, you know. But then sisi nataka hapana, nataka kumelt. Ukienda wapi? You know, I never get it. Love is, if you marry someone you love and respect, you respect and honor, love can come, you know. But you see, we base our marriages on love. Do you know, love is like a chemical reaction. It will fade. One day you will wake up and you really don't love this person. But if the reason you married them is their character, is how much you respect them, you will not leave.
Umesikia?
Yeah, so can I ask a question? Sawa, tumetoa love. Love will fade away. Oh my goodness. How can I say I want to get married to this person if love is out of the picture? So how can I say, let me get married?
That's where
Out
logic
of
comes in.
what?
Respect, honor. Have you ever hung out with someone and you're like, I really don't love this guy, but he's such a decent person.
So
he's
marry
a
that one.
respectful person. He treats me well. He's providing. Trust you me, the man you love will not be your husband. Take it to the bank on it, take a deposit.
Na ndio hawa wana come from a place here. We were told to
By
marry
who?
a person that
By
loves
who?
you more than you love them.
But
Yes.
me, I'm basing it on from infidelity. Watu wanasema watu wenye wanachitingi kwa their marriages, it's because at one point I don't feel like my wife is attractive enough. Oh, he's not good in bed, he's not this. Yani
People cheat because they're cheaters. It has no reason.
Really?
I like that.
Stop finding justifications. Have you ever seen women? Have you seen the hot fine women? I mean, no offense. Have you seen Diamond and the women he cheats on? Is there a justification in this world for cheating on a woman who looks like that? Honestly, none. So a man who cheats.
Yeah.
He will cheat because you sneezed in a way he doesn't like. That's
No,
it.
I have a different opinion. People are as faithful. Most people, acha niseme most, just a disclaimer. Most people are as faithful as their options.
That's painful because it's true. Because when a man gets money, hakunaga Viagra kwa wanaume kama pesa. Bebe, my pastor once said, "You're not humble, you're just broke." And he said it in church, like, don't act humble here crying, you're just broke. You touch money like this. Hey, and that's the truth. A man, unless given money and power, you will never see his true character. But when he gets money and power, then you see him. Then you actually see him.
So,
and women?
Hey, women are worse, to be honest.
Where?
Because when a woman gets power, she will want to be above the man. Women have a problem. Instead of being content with the role of a woman, every time they get elevated, they want to compete with the man. And they forget there is power in being a woman. So women spend their lives wanting to be like men, but you can't be. You can be powerful as a woman. But this generation is so hell-bent on what a man can do. A woman, do better where? Do better where? You know, I never get that logic.
Yeah.
There is no at one point a woman can even be at par with a man. So once you understand that, you find the strength in being a woman. But then mwanamke mpatie pesa kidogo hivi na cheo. Oh, my husband, we are equals where? I mean, we are very twisted logics of what empowerment is. Empowerment is you being empowered in being a woman, in a mother, in doing woman things, you get. But then why are you struggling to do man things? And you're struggling because you can't do them well enough.
But what's the root of that?
I always come back to say it's westernization. Our grandmothers were so confident in their role as women, they never tried to be men. You will never hear your grandmother say, I wanted to be your grandfather. Why? Why? She was so content in her role as a woman, carrying the entire family on her back and bringing it up well. She never wanted to compete with the husband.
But you know, Anita, for the points you hold, you're in it, that vibe comes from a process.
Yeah.
You've gone through a series of things which I believe tunaweza describe as the life cycle of the modern woman.
Yes, true.
Ndio ufike place hii sasa imefika. By the way, sasa ni reality check, this is what is there. But akina Adah wata disagree na wewe because they come from a different book.
It's true.
Entirely. Kabisa.
So
you guys live in a fairy tale?
That's what I was nilikuwa ni kuquote. Because you say that a lot, that we live in a fairy tale.
It's true. Na nimewapatia examples zote.
Kutaka better for ourselves.
Lakini,
wanasema manifest,
do you
imagine.
know how hard and long women have fought to be here? Pali
Here
tumefika
where?
sahi.
Here where?
Whereby we can go to school, we can get jobs, we can get promotions. Like, okay, sioni ubaya tukijifeel kidogo. Acha tujifeel kidogo, Anita. It's okay.
You guys are missing my point. I'm not saying sijifeel. I'm just saying it's not a competition. The problem, women made it a competition, that everything comes down to gender. We cannot even have a serious discussion without pulling a gender card. That's a woman thing. Like wanawake wakipigwa gender card right up. Yeah. It's not a competition. We should complement each other. And as Kengoni said, I've come from a point of, I almost got into extreme feminism of hate on men. But it's not a competition. Women are allowed to feel as much as they can. Doesn't mean you crush down the men. If your light is bright enough, you shouldn't be dimming people's. It doesn't make yours shine any brighter. True. And we need to understand as women, that's where our weaknesses come from. We are raising children who think it's always about gender. And it's not. It's really not. Women get more chances than boys. If it's actually about gender, wanaume wamefinyiliwa, it's painful.
True.
Women are so empowered. So empowered. Everybody is women empowerment, girl child empowerment. Then to what end? Killing the boy child doesn't make the woman stronger. You know, it doesn't. Right. So mkona right ya kujisikia and feel all, but then don't forget it's not a competition. It's not.
How do you arrive at this process? Because I'm curious. Kuna two things I'm very curious about. One, this is my favorite question, but I've not found someone answering it properly. Women cheat.
Yes.
Alafu dema kichita akishikwa analia.
Hafai kulia.
Why are you crying? Why are you crying?
Hafai kulia.
Ndio nauliza, why are you crying?
It's a reaction.
Kwani the other person was not a better option, like huyo mwenye ulikuwa una cheat na yeye, as in is it not like ni aje you're testing the why are you crying?
Even men cry when they're caught cheating.
Crying machozi.
You have to rephrase that question.
Why?
No, it's a
Why women cry
it's a
wakishikwa?
situational question.
First of all,
Have you ever been caught cheating, Anita?
I've never cheated. It's too much work.
Yeah.
I'm not lying, Kingori. I'm a terrible liar.
Oh, Ngoja, are you a good cheat or you've never been caught?
I am too lazy.
To cheat.
God, can I tell you what I don't understand? And I've never up to date understood. Unatoa wapi time ya kuchat na watu wawili? Sneaking around. Do you know how much of a terrible liar I am? The only time I almost cheated, niliulizwa na mtu. Do you know what I told them? I told them the truth. Because I was like, I will forget, then I'll go get high, then I used to party, afu nimwambie story. Guy, wacha nijiseme.
Sasa najua nyinyi wote, hakuna mtu hapa ata confess, amewahi shikwa.
Me, I almost cheated though, but I didn't do it. I was like, Aki, honestly, ni kazi mob. Do you know the energy? Personally, I think I'm one of those people who sipendi stress. So I find it so much work. I'm already chatting with one person is heavy on me. I'm an emotional person. I invest my all. Ndatu wapi time ya kuchat na mtu mwingine?
We need to have honest conversations.
I feel like kuna cheating, yeah.
We need to have honest conversations because
as well.
I've asked this question like ile hata friendly, hakuna dem you admit kucheat, and the last person niliuliza hii swali, nobody admits. The last person I asked this question aliniambia hajawahi cheat. Coincidentally ni my near character developer. Hajawahi cheat na hajai nini, and then she goes ahead akaniambia ati if she decides to cheat you'll never catch her.
That's true.
Anaweza kuambia hata she's gone to buy things na atenda agongwe na arudi and you'll never know.
Unagongewa na sima. I heard that song the other day. I was so shocked.
Exactly.
A woman caught cheating wanted to be caught.
True.
That's why crying is just being dramatic, to be honest.
Oh, crying is just
Listen,
dramas.
what's the easiest card you can pull as a woman?
Crying.
What's the easiest card you can pull as a woman? Well, cry. My God, just get into character. A woman caught cheating wanted to be, because women don't just hit and run. Cheating, you look, because a woman invests in a relationship. Sisemi haezi fanya, anasema
unatupigia ile story.
Kabla
Tupigie hiyo story, endelea.
a woman cheating amekaa chini aka-evaluate her options. Huyu ni Kingori, huyu ni Kimani. So I'm cheating on Kingori with Kimani. What am I getting on this side that I'm willing to lose on this side?
Yeah.
You understand? So by the time aende kuchituku, anajua chances za kushikwa zinaweza kuwa na anaweza lose huku, ako willing to lose huku. A woman who's sleeping around is willing to lose what she has. Because women value their relationships. It's emotional. So the problem is anaanza kuwapima. Umseli mcompliment, but then no offense, women cheat for silly reasons. Your makeup looks good, your hair, it's emotional. So boy amekuwa kimarinate. It's not that mlipatana kwa club ikakuwa hapa. It's like a process. So by the time she gets to the actual cheating, ako willing to lose.
Kuna kitu mademu wako nayo, inaitwa office. It's socially
Ni wote
almost
wako nayo?
accepted. Mtaruka hapa, najua mtaruka mseme.
I had a t-shirt written Audacity. I know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
In my past, I have lived. I was telling these girls, there's nothing new. I have lived. I had a t-shirt niliona juzi. I was like, Father, thank you.
Lie to us in front of all these cameras. Madema wana hit and run. Hata kama ni stage. Let's call it a stage. Madema wana hit and run.
I feel like it's a stage or a phase that is almost necessary.
Almost how? Please explain.
I feel like it's just you trying to find yourself and defining your sexuality and just trying to know, what do I like this? Do I like vanilla? Do I like strawberry? How will you know without
Kiangori, do you know what vanilla is strawberry?
Sorry, mother.
Beyond, okay, najua ya yogurt, there is something beyond that.
It is so wrong, we do not even want to know.
Ni kwendeni. Vanilla na strawberry ni nini?
Ada, don't lie. Your eyes just rolled. Hey. I'm so glad I lived that these things like this will not shock.
It's a Gen Z thing.
No, it's really not. They think they came up with it, but it's not. It's old.
We don't think we came up with it. We think
no, they think
okay. You can own
they
it
look at
as
no,
millennials.
It's not even ours. It's been there.
Yeah.
But that comes from a very different world of experimenting with your sexuality and wanting to know what you like or not like. Yeah, I know your eyes just grew bigger. So it's it comes from a different experiment. Yani, people have been doing this. That's why I'm telling you that nothing is new, and even as we found it. But then it's come to him conservative ways he find out vitu hizi.
Yeah.
Or atafanya, but you'll never catch them.
You can't. It's experimental.
Also, again, I feel like sexuality is also part of growth. And this person, for example, this lady I know, I don't even know really her name. But kuna a point where you also start dating people for projects. It's a project to understand, can I get him? Let me try and see if I can get him.
That I can relate
And
to.
then when you get him, see, project imeisha.
Interest in Aisha.
And you move on to another project.
Ah.
And
Actually,
you will call
women
that
do that.
whole facing, but
Ati?
it's just a woman trying
Women
to.
do that a lot, and I
Yeah.
think men don't understand that. Women have a list of people who are not gettable.
Nimekuma.
Then they try to get them. Then once they get them, the interest ends.
Yeah.
You're not even scared that you might like them for real. You just want, as in their agenda is a project. Ukimpata
Rarely
ni hivyo.
does it happen that you will actually like them. Because mind yako from the beginning, any project, you're usha win. Done.
Na sasa tani yako ikifika when someone collects you as a project.
You're a sample, it's a problem.
It's kind of okay. I get it. I would get it, really.
Would you be a second wife?
No.
Why?
Hey. It's just not sitting well with me. But I'm seeing some of my age mates actually are open to it. Bless their hearts, but I don't know if that's something I would do.
Ada?
Hell no.
Why?
I'm very jealous. I want my man to
That's
myself.
real.
That's a very honest
That's
answer.
real.
Each generation is, naweza sema, rotten in denial.
Yes.
Hey,
Yes.
that's heavy.
No, in denial.
It's as heavy as
like,
oldies.
this is the generation that threesome is a thing.
Man.
Apana. We learned it from
Apana.
you guys. Ay, apana.
Also, why are you boxing all of us to that? Just
Ni
No, no, no,
wabaya. Hamjatusifu tangu tuanze hiki.
naweza tumia jina statistics.
Guy, ask me.
Mjitetee, kila mtu ako na
Aya,
mic.
basi, sawa.
Mjitetee. Most Gen Zs nimemeet, they drop that question, what do you think about a threesome? And it comes from a place ya mtu anakutest, they want to see your opinion. They want to see, and they come from a place ya almost they don't mind it, and I think sometimes women flow with what you want.
Yes.
Like as a man, mkisha profile
Yeah.
mtu ujue, by the way anataka hii, you fit that.
That's the
Baka-
Sophia and Bumpy story.
Yeah.
Exactly that. Like the guy was into that kind of lifestyle, and then the girl would have done anything to please the guy. And the constant question the guy kept asking the girl. But then I listened to that thing because my last born sister is 22. When she really insisted, I was like, okay, I want to listen to it. And it was more of the guy asking the chick, do you want to lose me? And the girl was so in love and so desperate, and she really had no sense of what a relationship is. And the guy kept telling her, you're raised by a single mom. How would you know what a relationship is? How would you know what marriage is? When I say I want a threesome, Kingori, it got so bad into that marriage that the chick was willing to tell the girls, she picked one woman and told the hubby, you can sleep with this one.
As I'm pregnant for
I've
you.
picked this one for you. I know, right? And then this is the joke. The husband refuses to sleep with this one. And now the wife is asking, why are you not sleeping with her? And I gave you permission. In their house, marital house. And that story is worse because they were living in the same compound with the parents to the guy. So the mother-in-law can see these things. But she tells the young girl, this is even a deeper problem of our parenting. Tells the young girl, you're the problem because you have a temper. So if you don't speak, the guy won't get angry. If you don't speak, he won't hit you. If you don't speak, he won't bring other women. You get. And I'm there. That whole podcast is 2 hours, 30 minutes. I have never been that angry as a mother, as a woman, because I felt like this generation does not understand what self-worth is, and they take this experimental thing too far. Because it doesn't make sense as a woman, a man bringing another woman to your house to sleep with.
As in, okay, for the cultures that accept polygamy, kwani how did they use to recruit the second wife?
If it's a cultural thing, I would allow it because it means I knew what I was getting into. You understand? Because if it's a cultural thing, this man is allowed 4 wives. So you enter knowing chances of him adding 3 is high. This is not a person who is into that culture.
Kuna kitu tunasahau. Kuna pattern I have noticed, like an observation. Like women are okay with the rules you set at the beginning.
Yes.
Number one, if you like someone and they approach you akwambie, hey, mazee, I really like you but niko na mademu wengine and you wanna be usicheke hivyo, and you wanna be in that situation, utapata mademu ata accept and they are okay with that.
Yeah.
Right? The terms and conditions, right?
Because you were honest from the beginning.
Yes, kuna moja I've been debating with my friend YY. Yeah, the debate is on like the friends with benefit situation. People argue that women don't have the capacity to hold friends with benefit situation. Yet I know a balance of two sides. Oh, madem watapata feelings, and then I know of I actually saw this on Twitter. Dem anasema alibutu msee juu alikuwa in a FWB situation and the guy started catching feelings. I think there is no balance in this, but people actually generally accept the rules that you set
At
in
the
advance,
beginning. Yeah.
right? You're okay with other women coming in as long as you talked about it in advance. But then again, you also don't like to be told the truth, okay? Utamari mukora. This is a thing you actually, I think, float around.
Yeah.
Most people are okay with cheating in a relationship as long as tusishikani. And I think those are, some people would argue that those are the marriages that works. And this is my theory. One of the marriages that work ni yenye wakora wawili wamepatana.
Wametoka na
Kila mtu
ukora.
anajua kupambana. I love Sabato. Sijui kama mnajua Sabato sauti ya ground. One of the videos alifanya ilinichekesha sana was he said it was a video alikuwa anasema he caught an STI. Alafu when he went, if I remember the story correctly, akaenda hosi akaambiwa wewe enda ukuje na demu yako. Lakini yeye akaenda akatitiwa peke yake. Alafu vile alikuja akaona 3 days imeisha ama whatever time, the girlfriend had not talked. Ati hivyo ndiye alijua wote ni wakora. Wako kwa system juu hakuna mtu anajua alitoa kwa nani. You understand?
Yeah.
So it's generally accepted that, as in this is my theory, kuna relationship ya watu ni wakora wenye we usishike simu yangu nisishike simu yako, you do your things as long as I don't catch you, right? Kuna the other version of relationship that I think work ni yenye mtu mmoja amekalia mtu mwingine, be it the man or the woman. Kuna mtu mmoja amekubali basi wacha ni nyanyaswe for these things to work. Yes. Kuna submissive na kunyanyaswa, okay?
Yeah.
Kuna mtu mmoja amekubali the terms to work, right?
Yeah.
And kuna of course people who found themselves were perfect match, like enyewe by the way, you guys, you have a lot of things in common.
Si perfect match, ni wazimu zilisikizana tu honestly.
Kwanza Adah nilimsikia na statement fulani na the way she defended it. Ati why would you sign up for ati relationship kufight is normal. In fact alitana alikuwa amekaa kwa kiti mali. In fact, do you know it's healthy? Defend your point.
No, Kingori was saying ati yeye ile siku yenye ataingia kwa relationship, he wants a happy relationship. Hakuna kuargue, hakuna kufight.
Yes.
And I was telling him that's unrealistic. And the relationships that muko na so many fights are actually very healthy.
So many fights.
Mi kwanza mi naonanga nikifight na Charlie yangu. Okay, my ex.
Go on.
Yeah. Whenever we used to fight, I feel like the next day I would love him even
Isn't
more.
that toxicity,
No, as in tuta fight and then we would come together and talk about it and then kutakuwa dina a certain change of mood. I don't know how to explain it.
And you're talking about it in a past tense. Why are you not together yet it was working?
You know,
This script is very familiar.
no. Mi wacha niwaambie, nilikujanga kuona sometimes as women we tolerate a lot of BS. Sometimes women we turn into Bob the Builder.
Yeah.
Come here baby. Oh,
Construction worker.
uko na shida, come I nurse you back to health. And I was like, I'm no longer going to do that. Weka na shida
So
zako.
what is the threshold of fighting that is acceptable?
I know, I also want to know because this one for you
what's
love
the
more
threshold
after
you're
fighting.
Yeah, below that is unhealthy. Like above that is dangerous. Like tunachezea wapi?
How
3
many
times
fights in a week?
And what is fighting
Ati
actually?
tuwili.
What's the line between fighting and this is an
Not
abusive
ati fight,
relationship?
tunatukanana, no.
Ni
As
fighting
in
gani?
small inconveniences here and there, and the way you come together to solve that issue, I feel like it brings in more life into your relationship.
So you would fake an argument
No, girl.
to have that?
No, I don't like drama.
One of the things, 2 things. One, nikumbushe point ya usefulness. And number 2, there is someone alipigwa inaitwa banter on Twitter. And I think I picked something on this. Someone was attacking someone who left a marriage, okay? And assumably they left the marriage. The lady was being attacked because she left the marriage from a rich man, right, to someone who is assumed to have lesser resources, okay? And then this woman was calling out the lady who left the relationship for not akufikiria. She would have stayed in the relationship with the rich man and cheated with
the good guy, but
man who has
Good vibes and
lesser
inshallah guy.
resources.
yeah.
Is that a thing?
Sadly, it is. Most people stay in marriages for conveniences. And if you find you're married to someone for his money, he doesn't have time for you. And most probably he's also not stupid. He knows that you married me for my money. So he will really treat you as an asset. You see, Kingori, if you have an iPhone, it's yours. How you choose to use it, it's totally up to you. If a woman allows herself to be an asset, and all she brings, you see here women saying, I am the table. If you're coming as a table, I will use that table as I please. It is the table. You have to bring something more. And the shallowness of marrying into money, it comes with you not getting exactly what you want. And I always tell women, you have to bring more. Men marry for brains most of the times, for peace, for calmness, for growth, you know. It's not even for love. It's someone who grows you, someone who encourages you, someone who cheers on you, someone who treats you like a king, crowns you, you know. But then if specifically I know you married me for who I am and the money, I will treat you badly. So what women have learned, I will marry this man for money. And it's a lot in this Nairobi, and most of these women are not the first wife. Second wife, you married this guy for who he is and you wanted a trophy wife. So you asked or you advised, instead of leaving him, Celibacy, you just cheat. And he will never know. And even if he knows, I mean, how many times have you seen in the media, big politician or bodyguard and Mgongea or driver? You see, they have made it normal. We have normalized these things. So you're told, even the old man might tell you, listen, don't leave me. I don't have energy for a divorce. Just get someone. But be discreet.
And what is the man getting from
You're a trophy wife. Because there are people who want to show you off.
Trophy wife, but really
I want to show up. Do you know sometimes some men, the prestige, you're a 70-year-old man showing up with like a 26-year-old babe looking like some Rihanna type of chick, you know. Ananyamazisha hao wazee wote.
It's like bragging rights.
It is actually. And you see, I repeat, you're an asset. Same way men get excited over cars. You're a gadget. You're like a car. I get to show you off. What happens after that, it doesn't matter if I drive you or not. I get to say I have a Ferrari in the parking. It's mine. I own it. I can take pictures with it. No offense. That's what you are. You stand next to me, I look good. Period. After that, you can go to whatever you want to do.
And I get my money as the
That
woman.
comes also from greed, Kengori. You find these women, no offense, younger women are willing to do anything for a kind of standard they expect. So you find like a chick there was a story trending of a girl who went to Dubai, pretty babe, and she got into so much trouble because of the things she wanted. And you find a girl, these people don't want to work hard. So a girl is 22, she wants a car. She amemaliza college, juzi hajamaliza, maybe she wants a car, she wants a good house. How do you get that? The easiest way is an older rich man. So you become it's an exchange, it's barter trade, you get.
Niliuliza mtu like, we were talking about sugar babies. Akasema,
God, it's a thing.
it's a thing.
I know it stresses me, it's a thing.
Nikamuuliza, why do you go for that trade-off? Akasema, it's because they have money. Nikauliza, your fellow Gen Zs, kwani hawana pesa? Akasema, kai, ni ngumu.
But I feel like what you've just described, I feel like men now are coming into relationships with that picture. And now, unawekwa in a position where you have to prove that you're not that person. You're not like other Gen Zs. And then now it ends up, you don't want to know me for me. Umekuja already na, sasa nionyeshe vile wewe si. And that's very unfair for Gen Zs who are actually working for their money. The PR is so bad and it's annoying.
If you ever find yourself trying to prove to someone who you are, then you're wasting your time with that person.
Yeah.
You don't. I think, and I believe, even in friendships, you don't have to try too much. If you ever find yourself you're trying too much, I'm trying to prove who I am, then it's not for you. Things should happen with ease. You know, some calmness of this is me. I wear my Crocs. I don't dress up. I don't try. But sasa nyinyi, hata a simple date ya Karura unakuja umevaa makeup kilo 5, uko na sneakers mpya pengine ulikopa. My guy, just be you.
I'm curious.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Kwa hii kitu yenye ulikuwa umebring ya table, right?
Yeah. Table,
Yeah,
yeah. The table,
right?
yeah.
Like what value, and this is just a general question.
Yeah.
What value do you think is in need in marriage for a man?
Ouch.
For a man from a woman.
Yes. Like, would you wish to get married at some point?
Yes.
But what do you think to hiyo kitu ya the table? Are you the table ama for the proverbial how people ask, like what do you bring to the table?
To be very honest with you, Kingori, I don't even have that answer now where I am. Sijui nitakuletea nini kama mwanamke sahi kwa sababu sijui bado I'm trying to figure out myself. I am not ready for marriage. So I wouldn't know really what I'm trying to give you. So let me grow first and then I'll have that answer.
Kwa hii hoping to get married someday,
Yeah.
right? Like what is this that you're getting ready for?
Okay.
Like what are you readying?
Me, I think I'll find that out as I go. Sina
Ni
yo
kuguess
jibu.
tu?
No,
Ni
si
kuguess?
guess. Mi najua sijui.
Good point.
That's a good answer. Actually,
Yes,
very
it's a
honest
good
answer.
point. It's a good
Yeah.
answer. And I made this submission. Nikasema, we are putting faith in an institution that we are forced to lose meaning. This is what I mean. Tukiwa shule, and I've given this example. Tukiwa shule, we used to talk about division of roles, like in traditional African societies. Women were trained to be mothers, to take care of families and stuff. Men were trained to be husbands, fathers, to provide and everything. Hizo zilikuwa, you are programmed for that, right? Siku hizi, we are raised, like my boys na madem are raised the same. How do you expect them to just jump into the traditional roles and expect to, you understand? And that's why I ask. Like, what are you? Okay, I'm not. I asked Bamboo, and I think we are setting up we would like to set up a conversation with him again on our other show, which is pending. Nilimuuliza swali nikamwambia, people are now okay, like with options, like kuna vitu mingi sana around the institution of marriage, and he said something very brilliant on the spot. Alisema, what's under attack? It's the family.
Yeah, it is.
Family is under attack.
Yeah.
But how is it under attack? What we have accepted. So you should not be shocked that Adah, I wish you all the best. I wish you all the best, right? Msishangae, and it's not your fault probably that 10 years from now, by God's grace, to have conversations, itakuwa 5 marriages later. Either.
Jesus.
It's possible.
Kingori.
Because, yeah, it's
And
no,
I
it's
refuse
possible.
it and rebuke it.
Yeah.
Not your
No,
portion.
I'm saying
Not
I wish
your
you
portion.
guys all the best.
Not your portion.
I wish you guys all the best. But then unaona, like ukweli Miss K, wewe very honest.
Yeah.
Like you don't know like what's the deal? You understand? When you meet Gen Z, you got married at 17. There are people who got married at 18 and it worked.
Yeah.
People who got married at 22 and it worked. Now watu walikuwa sema in fact kitambo ilikuwa ina work. Do you know it's very easy that at some point you don't even see the point of marriage?
That's actually the main question now. Are we getting married really? After rep, marriage has a bad rep.
No,
you have
marriage-
all the reasons not to get married.
It's subjective nowadays. I don't think marriage is the way it used to be. It's very subjective and it's very personal to me. Unaona? Nowadays, I feel like see Gen Z, God to bless. Like we know before we get into something, we ask ourselves, like, am I mentally prepared for this? Have I worked on myself as a person? You know, before
Are you sure Gen Z's ask
yes,
that question?
we do.
I
Like
think
the same
I
thing.
would beg to differ 200%.
We have.
Gen Z rush into everything without thinking. They think when they are in it. Like they
Acha tuambie how they think about nini.
Even parenting. I feel like we even view parenting different. Okay, maybe kuna wenye wajafanya some soul searching, but there's some of us who have actually sat down and we're like,
Yeah.
this is a kid? Unaona? Am I ready to be a mom? Have I let go of my traumas? Am I going to raise this baby well? Like, some of us have actually sat down and we have asked ourselves these questions. Si kila saa Gen Z ni wabaya jamani.
Actually, Gen Z
No,
is one of the
100%.
most liberated and educated and well-equipped generation, but then it makes the worst decisions with all the equipping they have. Because Gen Z are the people who are having marriages in 1921, and I'm saying this from statistics, that people think it's okay to cohabit as early as in campus.
Niko sure hata hawa ukiwafinya kwa kona vizuri watakwambia they've been married in campus.
Ay, God forbid.
And you see,
Jesus.
and Kengori,
No.
what makes me shocked when she's saying they think, I am telling you, I do a lot of statistics, because even my book is targeting Gen Z's 100%.
She does not like
They,
statistics.
they rush into decisions because they think, nyinyi mnataka maisha fast life, fast everything. I'm not gonna pause. I'm not gonna take a breather. I'm telling you, my entire life, I've never seen such young parents like this generation. Me, I'm telling you, there's one I was seeing on TikTok and I was so surprised. I was like, yo, the way they are showing it off, you would think it is. I was like, bro, that's a whole human being you're raising.
No, what do you mean?
Like another one is 24, they have 2 kids. I was like, guy, more than,
Lakini,
what-
wacha niwaulize.
Guys.
Okay, yes, we rush into things as Gen Zs, but we also learn very quick. And I feel like when we
agree.
talk about marriage, kusema ukweli, mi naonanga siku hizi watu wenye wanaolewa wako 27, 28. People who start getting kids are like 25 and above. So I don't think it's right to generalize, to say, all Gen Zs are like this. Nah?
Me hata I think on that point, age, watu wanasemanga like ideally, the ideal settlement age kitambo ilikuwa hapa early 20s.
Actually.
By the way, for both men and women, 25, Charlie akiwa 25, dem akiwa 22, Charlie akiwa 22, dem akiwa 18, and they used to work.
When kitambo? Kitambo hapana. Si mulikuwa mna settle mkiwa 17, 18, 19,
Exactly,
20. That was
exactly.
kitambo. Nowadays it's actually 25 and above.
Do you even think you have time to settle?
We don't.
Me, I'm
When?
working on my career.
No one has-
honestly,
no one has
that's my
time.
priority. Number one. Ukinikuta huko mbele as I'm CEOing somewhere in an
What
office.
about kids?
Freshy. Now that's where the dance is, because the biology thing comes in.
No, nobody should rush you, but on a personal
On a
state,
personal whatever.
do you feel like you need marriage for kids?
That's a good question, by the way.
Yeah, because the way they're speaking, it's not in the
honey.
Quran anyway. So do you
That's a
think
good question.
It's
because
not
you see this is a
cast on
generation,
stone, I
it's
would
not,
say
it's-
that.
So you're willing to have a child without
I'm
a
not
marriage?
willing, but if it happens,
It happens.
yeah, I'm not gonna die. I'm not going to feel guilty sana ati because I got a child because I chose
Adah?
not to get married to a diabolical person.
For
But
me,
he was okay sleeping with a diabolical person. It's the child. fault. Having a
Wait
child
a
with them,
damn
then.
minute.
No, I'm just saying. 'Cause
No.
I always say, don't define someone who can have a
Why
child
why
with like
have you
that.
concluded that though?
Because you said, what did you just say? I'm okay having a child. It's okay, but it's rather to have a child than be married to a diabolical person. So it means you are with a diabolical person, weren't you?
This child I can get anyhow.
All right.
That's the
that's a
scientific
clarification.
other way of
I
getting
have
a child.
I have a rule. If you have a child with someone, you have no right to call them names.
Sorry? If
Sometimes
you have a child,
I tell women when you have a child with someone like me, I can't sit here and say my baby daddy was a shitty human being because I was with a shitty human being.
But you see,
Yeah.
you are the same person who said people change year by year.
Yeah, they do, they
year
do.
1, year 2, year 3, they were amazing people. Year 4, they become a diabolical person.
Justified a bit, but don't call them names still.
It's not, and it's not simtusi.
Yeah.
Now, that's your character now. I'm talking about your character.
Or they've
Alright.
developed into a diabolical
Yes.
Ada, are you okay getting children out of wedlock?
One, religion.
Yeah.
Religion does not allow me, but I also feel like it's very essential for a child to grow up with both
Yeah,
parents.
agreed.
So I would try as much as possible to ensure that my child has that.
That's a beautiful thing. So Ada is pro-marriage. Miss K
Don't
is
conclude.
working. I'm saying you're working on yourself enough to know.
Thank you.
Where you want to
I
go.
love that.
So I would want to ask both of you now. Let me reverse the rules. What's your take on the Sophia and Bumpy stories where we started? That girl said when she was asked what you would want now after going through such an ordeal, she said she's looking for a relationship with a kind person. And do you think after such kind of a relationship, someone should date, or what kind of break should someone take from a toxic relationship?
I feel like one thing about women, we always make this mistake. Yes, you have been in a toxic relationship. When it ends, I feel like women try and look for love elsewhere because I can't love myself. Let me look for someone who will help me to love myself. I think that's why watu wanarukianga into a relationship. But weirdly enough, hii mapenzi yenye watu wanaendanga searching in other people, you'll never find it. That kind man, turns out the kindness needs to come from you. Be kind to yourself. No one will love you the way you love yourself.
Yeah. True. I would say I agree with you. But from your question, I can feel you have a problem na yeye kutaka kukua in another relationship. I would say a lover girl is a lover girl. No matter how many. No, and I don't mean this in a lover girl, I'm dying in love. No, I'm saying I would want to be the girl who, no matter how people, because of their being diabolical, hurt me, initoe my character of loving love. I don't want to give anyone that much power to toa me from wanting good for myself. I want companionship. Yeah, I want to grow old with somebody. But just because I dated this person for 2 years and it was toxic and I ended it, thank God I made it alive, I would still want companionship later. I will heal from that. Ndio nisipoa your heart to this other good person that I find. Do the self-work as she's saying. But I do still want that kind person Sophia is talking about.
Hey, take your time.
I think for me, I don't have a problem with her getting into a relationship. It's how fast she said it.
Yeah.
You understand?
Okay.
Because the problem is that kind of trauma doesn't heal in a day.
Yeah.
You're so programmed to the pain and trauma, you are participating in it. The biggest problem now, trauma from relationships, you never see your role in it.
Right.
You will always say the other person was the other person, but you are.
Yeah.
The most constant thing in your pain is you. The most constant thing in your problems is you. So until you step out of that and see yourself as the problem and start working on you, as she said, love yourself. What were my flaws? Where did I fail? What were my shortcomings? You're not victimizing yourself. You're seeing yourself as part of the problem.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen in a day.
Yes.
And if you take a chance and start dating immediately or sooner after, you will get into a worse situation. Because you're really traumatized and you're in pain. And that's a problem I feel people really, and I'm not going to say it's generational. This is actually for most men don't like staying alone. So it's a long-term relationship. He leaves this one, he jumps into the other one. There's, like men can't stay alone. Because if he's married, I am telling you, hey, ajivulie nguo.
Unayo swali, Kemori, we asked, kati ya men and women, who can go longer celibate?
Women, 100%.
Correct. And he says
Nyinyi
men.
mnapiga kelele tu hapa.
Uongo.
Ati women can go longer celibate.
Yes. Men can't.
What is the longest time you've ever been celibate, Kimori?
For example.
2 years.
What were the circumstances?
I had learned a very deep lesson after experimentation, and I was like, I need to focus on me. Yes.
Oh, that's a beautiful thing. Mrs. K? Miss K.
I've
Mrs.
never had
T very fast.
sex before, man. I don't know. Long enough.
She's never had sex long enough. Umesema nini?
Kemori.
Amesema?
Chill.
Amesema nini? Adama nimesikia zangu.
Those were two different statements.
Yeah.
Moving on to Adah.
Wait, mi bado ni
Shana mdogo.
sijavuka hiyo border, but I think I'm a perfect example of celibacy.
Amen.
Because you've not even
Because
done
that
it even
sijaonja.
there. You go.
Hallelujah. God bless you so
I relate.
I know.
Watakuona hapo
much.
watachangamuka.
Wagani?
Group senior character developers.
Let me tell you something. I led a very adventurous life, but then I'm 19 months celibate. Let me tell you something. Celibacy for men is harder because I've had these conversations with men. Because men are visual beings. And men struggle. I have a friend of mine, there's a day he was crying like, guys, me, I'm dying. I was like, it's not a death. You know, you can do whatever you want to do. But he was trying to honor himself and he was addicted to this and he was really working on it. But for me, I believe women can be more celibate because it's more mental and emotional. You get. So if you promise yourself, I won't sleep with someone unless I'm in a serious relationship, you get to commit to that. It's not, it's easier.
Yeah.
But they say, no, men really don't need reasons to sleep around. So it's very hard for a man to constrain himself. It's usually harder for men. And every time I have these conversations with men say, sometimes you see a woman and you're like, ay. You see, for us, we can see a man and just be like, okay, anakaa vizuri, but
Good
it's not
for
the same
him.
for men.
You guys, I think it's because the cameras are on. You are the perfect image of all yourselves.
What do you mean?
Mkikuwa mfungue roho mseme ukweli, oh, you guys have never cheated. But hata afadhali mngesema you've never been caught. As in,
But
believable
why are you
stuff,
so
okay?
hell-bent on that?
No, I'm not hell-bent on that. I'm a facts guy.
But
I'm a fact-
me,
Sasa
I'm
facts
telling
hapo ni
you.
gani?
Me, I'm
Kemori,
telling
you have
you.
hosted me before. We have had conversations before. I don't lie. The only reason I haven't cheated is not because I couldn't. It's because it's a lot of work. And Kemori, I will say this on camera. I've said it so many times. I have had 3 serious relationships. Everything else was a situationship. Me, I was a professional hit and run. Like, bro, don't even waste my time. I don't have the bandwidth to even maintain a situationship for a month. It's a lot of work.
How did you arrive at this? Like, if you can paint us a picture, like before 17, in fact, this book details a very rough childhood, yes? And happy to see you are in shape
Yes.
and good form. God bless, right?
Amen.
So, at what point do you lose yourself? Ebu take us through the life cycle of Anita.
Terrible childhood, running away from home. And you see, my childhood, when I look at it now as an adult, it's that I didn't have bad parents. It's just I was a rebellious kid. Mi ungeniambia. It's taken a lot for me to listen. Actually, today I'm doing a gratitude challenge, and today I was grateful for being able to listen. I'm very hard-headed. And so I ran away from home, became a street kid for a while. I got sexually assaulted. That factually reset me. That for me was my entire childhood had drama of smoking weed and alcohol, but I was never sexually active. My mother had instilled the fear of the Lord. So the only thing I kept to myself was my body. So when I got assaulted, it took away everything. I really wanted to die. So 15 to 17, I just wanted to die. I attempted suicide so many times. At 17, when I finished my Form 4, I'm a daddy's girl. My dad was like, Maliza Form 4. I was like, you too, daddy. Maliza came home, drank proper. You would have thought I'm the first one to finish. And then I met a guy in a bar, stupidest pickup line. Nilipita akaniambia, umeumia? I was like, juu mianguka kutoka heaven. Dumbest pickup line.
That's the one. Marry me right now.
You fell for that.
Nonsense pickup line. But he was 6'4". So I have a rule. Short men is not for me. And so got married after 7 days. That's why there's a title.
Short where?
Short physically, like nikikuangalia una need kuvaa heels. That kind of short.
It's equal to.
So
Nasikia vile virgins wanajua mambo hii town.
so got married to him. We had a child that I was 19 when I had my son, stayed until 21. It was very violent, abusive, emotionally, physically. And I think by the time I left, it was understanding that I will either harm him or he will harm me.
17 to how old?
21.
17 to 21.
Yeah.
That's like 4
That was
years.
5 years. It was when I left, it was a month to our 5 years.
And it was kuvumilia the abuse.
Actually,
like
vumiliaing.
vumiliaing for 5 years.
I remember.
You don't, okay.
Sorry, I'm distracted. I remember when I first called someone to complain about the violence, I was told, ndoa ni kuvumilia. But then those words echo in my head. Because it's the first time he slapped me and I was extremely shocked because my father has not beaten me. But because I had seen violence, I was very prone to being okay with it. So when I was told that, 6 months into the marriage, 6 months, I stayed. Because okay, unavumilia. And then I was raised to think like things that happen inside the marriage should stay in the marriage. You either tell his family or your family, don't go outside. I'm telling you, Kingori, people found out I was in an abusive marriage the last year. I remember it's because I decided to fight back. One day I was like, bro, umenizoea. By the way, umenizoea. So I started fighting. And by the time I left, it was so bad. We were fighting. I have a scar here. We were fighting so bad. It got... unajua mtauana, cha ukweli. Like for me, I didn't leave my marriage for any other reason. One of us would not be alive today. And I left. I was 21. I've never lived on my own. I was still a child. And so I decided I want to adventure. Actually, that was a statement. I was like, I want to adventure. Because my ex-husband was the first man I was been with, like, on my own terms.
That was the first time you were in a serious relationship?
Yeah, and I was married.
Never seen anyone else? 4 years, never cheated? Never been tempted to see someone else differently?
Differently the last year, yes. The last year, remember, is the first time I told him, I'm a very honest person because I forget a lot. So if I don't tell you the truth, I will tell you somewhere along the way. So one time I told him randomly, I left in November. Around August, I told him, I think I don't love you anymore enough to see you as a husband. And he was like, oh, I've had you hanging out with so and so. I was like, actually, I hang out with them a lot and they listen. And he was like, I'll change, I'll become a better person. And it was a cycle that didn't change, you get. And him, he had a really, that man showed me pepe. There's a day I was called and told, mwenye hii namba amepata accident na bibi yake.
What?
I was getting ready with my child to go to church. I'm waiting for him to pick us from his brother's house to the church. Me, I've seen fire in that marriage. And
No,
when I left,
story.
what happened? You see me, funniest thing, in my second year of marriage, I realized my questioning is the reason we fought. So I promised him I'll never question anything. So I became those wives who look like they don't care. So ataenda hata siku ine, I will never pick my phone to ask you where you are. Like I genuinely promised myself for my sanity. If you want to come home, you'll come home. If you don't want to come home, then don't come home. Just don't stress me. And he complained, and even my other relationships have complained. That's my problem. I switch off. I stop asking you. Like nakuacha ujibambe. I'm not leaving you. I become like, sawa, he came. Sawa, he did call. Like that's a thing. And I keep telling my therapist, I pray in my next relationship, I try to be more involved. Like I don't let go haraka. And so that day, he lied to me. He's going to some, like I didn't care. Like, it's okay, so tomorrow we have church, yes. Are you going to pick us in the morning? Yes. So that morning, I call him, where are you? We're going to get late. He's like, give me 30. I'm telling you, the devil is not a small boy. 10 minutes later, hello. And nimeona alikuwa amepigiwa na hii number. I was like, did he die? Sasa mwenye hii number amepata accident na bibi yake. I laughed.
Na bibi yake.
Wapi? I went, and by the time I got there, of course, people knew I'm dramatic. So the lady was not there. And I remember he had a big dent. And when we went to hospital, I was laughing. I was very angry. And I kept telling him, that's the day I told him I'm tired. I was like, I'm so tired. I am so tired. You need to know I'm tired. Like, I'm not even going to fight with you. I'm just tired. And I think that's the first time my ex-husband realized I'll leave him one day. Because I told him, I'm not even fighting. I am absolutely tired. And he kept saying the same thing, which he has told me over years. He used to tell me, Anita, I'll never leave you. You're the one who's going to get tired and leave. And I did get tired and leave. But then I left still a child, still in denial of my trauma. Actually, not denial. I didn't know I had trauma. So you're carrying childhood trauma, you're carrying marriage trauma, right? You come from a place you had a child young, and he really body shamed me for a long time. So I used to wear baggy things. I have no self-worth. I have no self-esteem. Then I decided to go on an adventure trip. I don't have a problem who I sleep with as long as I use protection. And that spanned out for a while. Hey, I mean, for me to print a t-shirt written audacity, I mean, really, you know. And I never had, and I promised myself, I will not be in a relationship again. Like, it was such a pain point, I purposed not to date. So I was those chicks for you get feelings, I cut you out. I'm okay as long as you don't say, that you text me nakupenda. Why? Like, I didn't love myself enough to understand unaweza nipenda. So I used to be like, I'm okay, I can love you, please don't love me. And funniest thing, I used to love that. I used to have projects. I pick a broken person, fix them, they get back on their feet, then I'm out. Like, I can love them enough. The day they say they love me, Kingori, I am out 100%.
Pick a broken person,
fix them,
and then break them proper now.
At least they will be better when I break them. Did that for a while. Then I went through a phase of not wanting another child. Because my son stayed with the dad. So I felt like, you start realizing maybe I failed as a mother, I want to do better. In my wisdom, instead of getting therapy, I got another child. Like, get another child and be a better mom. Then I heard I'm having a daughter. You should have seen me in that hospital, begging the doctor, change this. Mimi sitaki msichana. Because I was looking at my life, I was like, I don't want a child who can live the way I lived.
Yeah.
When I had my daughter, I really wanted to change my life now. I was like, I have to do better. I have to be a better mother. That's when I sought therapy, by the way. When my daughter came, I was like, okay, Anita, clean up. No hoeing around, no sleeping around, no men in my house. But that's when the rule started, no man in my house. I have a daughter. We have to do better. But now I became heavily dependent on alcohol. Instead of focusing on therapy changing me, I became a functioning alcoholic. And I was so good at it, you would never know I drink, actually. I was very good at it. So in 2017, 2018, my suicide things came back. Because you see, the problem with therapy, it starts dealing with very trauma ya kitambo sana. And if you're not in a good place, in a stable place, I really wanted to die. I hated myself. I look at the things I've done. I really hated myself. So it took another like 4 years of a very good therapist trying to convince me I'm worthy. Then in 2018, ujua sina kichwa mzuri. Katika hizo vitu zote nika decide kudate. Woo! Hiyo ndio nilalisha hosi Kingori. I was in hospital for 10 days. I dated a man he's not short, but we are the same height. I think that's my shoes short.
Which was the problem.
Jabo.
That one character developed me on behalf of anyone I had whom say alini character develop.
Hiyo nataka kusikia.
On behalf of everyone else. First of all, I dated down. And that's a thing I tell women. Don't date down in any way.
Define that.
Dating down is someone who's earning way lesser than you, who's in a low, like I'm called the same level in any way. But then he was a project. This guy started out as my usual project. Fix him. Ameachwa. Fix him. Work on him. I could get back. And the funniest thing, that relationship started out. One day he came looking so good. I was like, unakaa vizuri naweza kuchota. That's how it started. Then I went home. Then he texted me, I thought ulikuwa unanichota. I was like, ulikuwa unataka kuchotwa.
Bas.
So, but for me, I'll show it's a hit and run. So I remember telling my friends, this one by next week I'll be out. Then the next week he saw me hanging out with someone. I was like, I don't like seeing you with other men. I was like, why? I was like, because I want to date you. I laughed it off. I told my therapist was like, that's a bad idea. You're not healed enough. That's why I'm big on healing. You're not healed enough. You're not in a good space to let someone in. I was like, I'm just having fun. 2 years.
You get it.
Then in the 1.5 years into it, an intern at our workplace stopped me and said, but I wanted to tell you I'm sleeping with your boyfriend.
Hey. Must be a Gen Z.
And then his name used to be Fire. His name people knew me for Adah Annita Raey. So I asked her. You know, when she told me that, I was with 2 of my friends and I asked her, so what do you want? An award, a trophy? I clap for you people. So she was shocked. I told her, I have a rule that I've kept since I was 17, 18. Me, I don't fight for men. There's nothing important in a man to fight for, honestly. And a man who puts you in a fighting position is not worth it. So that's when I started leaving him. That the same day I told him, so-and-so said you're sleeping together. I feel like I don't want, if you can sleep with her, then you can sleep with me.
Yeah.
And that's how it started ending. So then the last 6 months of my relationship with him was a lot of fighting and him threatening to expose the relationship. And he started saying, you don't post me, you're cheating, you know. Then one day akaingia, hiyo side ilikuwa character development. Akaingia kwa laptop yangu, akalog into WhatsApp.
After you were told that he was cheating with an intern, ulirudi na mkasort.
Actually, no. I told him and I meant it. You're not sleeping with me. We can talk every day. You can come to the office every day. I will not sleep with you. I swear.
But you're still in the relationship.
Yeah, we are still there. He's like, we can work on this. I told him, I will give you space. I will allow you to work on this. But I tell you, if you slept with her, you're not sleeping with me. Ungelala na mtu juu yangu sawa, chini yangu not working for me. So that time he came, we used to work together. So took the laptop, was like, simu yangu imekufa na need kulogin. Akayacha. Hey, I had time. Messages. From when we started dating, there's no at one point I was in a relationship alone with him. You were many. Hey, Jehovah.
The project became the project.
I remember the shock for me was that I hadn't seen it. I was good at seeing things. I really hadn't seen that coming. And from him and imagining the compromise I was making by being with him, because I was compromising a lot. And he was such an insecure person who always made me feel I had to work hard to show that I love them. He used to use this line, Ojo when he's celeb, sasa, what does he do? Naonaga nikao nipendi. I am just, he gaslit me proper. So when I saw those messages, I texted him, I was like, you left your WhatsApp on. I can blue tick, I think, for a week.
But aren't you meeting in the office?
Hiyo time sasa ndio unajuaga mnaweza kosa kuonana na mtu hiyo ofisi. Then I told myself, I'll work on myself. I cried. Like for me, I couldn't believe I didn't see it. For me, it was that I didn't see it. And one of my friends was like, but I kept telling you this guy is not it. So later, I told him I can do this. I remember it was in April. Alinipata kwa bar, nimekana mabesti zangu, mwanaume alisimama mbele yangu, alinitukana. You think you're better than me? You think, and I realized how broken I was because I didn't fight back. And it was so unlike me. Like my friends now are fighting with him. Like, Anita, kwani umechizi? Me, I don't like him like that. Me, I'll beat him for you. I was like, you can always beat him. And I remember I couldn't sleep for 3 days. His words kept, because he really used everything that I had shared against me. You're broken, you're a chick in the bar, you try, like he used, and you see
What's
words
chick
are
in the
heavy.
bar?
Like you're always drinking, you who's gonna marry you? Did you think I would marry you?
Hey.
Where say? It was heavy.
Yeah.
It was very heavy for me. So in that whole process, I remember I went and told my psychiatrist, I need you to admit me because I can't sleep. And one of the things that used to trigger my depression is lack of sleep. So I told her, you have to admit me. And I remember she asked me, who are we killing? I was like, it's a lot. I was in hospital for 10 days. And I told her, Dr. Siengo, I will never, ever come back to this hospital because of like, I never want to be in this position again because of anyone, not even a man, anyone. And that's when I genuinely started healing. I took time out. I decided I don't want to date. I don't want anything love. I shut anything emotional out. And I decided to do like work on myself. And that's when actually the suicide phase went away. Like I stopped feeling like I want to die. I started having purpose. I liked myself. I loved myself. I started dressing up. Like it was a journey of like 2 whole years of just working on myself. And I remember after all that, I was telling people, I don't advise people on relationships based on how good I am. It's how many mistakes I've made. And the fact that I literally almost died out of a relationship. And so it's that cycle of, I think the one thing I sought the most in my entire life, Kengori, is being loved. So I kept looking for it in people. But one, I didn't love myself. So every time someone said, Anita unakapoa, I'm like, me, I never felt like it could be me who looks nice. It could be me who's lovable. It could be me who's worthy. I never felt like I could be any of those things. So I am still unlearning. My teenage years really shaped me a lot, getting into a young marriage, abusive relationships. And you see, the reason I was worried for Sophia is because she was in an abusive relationship. She can get into another one so easily.
Yeah.
It can stop being physically abusive. No, it's emotionally abusive. So it's important to take time out and heal.
And do not date your workmates.
Guy, I broke my own rules. Never.
Historia, 2 things I'm very curious about. Dating down and dating down, and if you are to play your life differently, where do you think things go wrong? And if you are to talk to your younger self before everything goes to hell, right? Sindio? What, as in, if you played your life backwards, how would you measure your steps?
I would want to be told I'm loved enough as a child. I would want to go back to between my class 6 and class 8, actually. I would want to go back to that girl and assure her that it doesn't matter. You don't have to become number 1, 2, 3. You're actually enough. You know, I would want to tell that girl that love is not measured by the performance of who you are. I would want to be loved enough without having to earn it. Understand? I would want to be told I'm loved. I would want to be shown I'm loved. I would want to feel enough that I don't need to look for it.
Do you feel like that's what born the rebellion?
Oh yeah, I really wanted to be loved and seen. Like I knew if I do something wrong, my mother will see it. Like she will acknowledge I am still existing, you know. And it became a habit. Like I knew nitapigo, but I still did these wrong things, you know. And sometimes we overlook these things in children. It's attention. And sometimes it's bad to give them, but also it's bad to deny them. And for girls, it's important to feel you're worthy at a young age. Because in my teenage years, my book is actually for teenagers. My life went south in my teenage years. If I had felt loved enough, to be honest, because my biggest problem was that. Even as an adult, I still felt my mom doesn't love me enough. If I could go back, I would go class 6 to class 8 and remind my younger self that you loved. You don't have to work hard. You don't have to be... I grew up in comparison with my older cousin. You should be smart like her. She was number 1. Why are you number 3? You know, I would want to be enough, to feel enough and to feel worthy. What was the first question?
Dating down.
Dating down is I was earning 5 times what he was earning. Number 1, we were not of the same social status, to be very honest. And
So what attracted you to him?
he was broken.
So trauma bond.
Broken ama broke. Unajua, you're mixing
He
things
was
up.
both.
You're mixing
I think it was both. Dating down is when you genuinely know you're not on the same social place with this person.
So you also are submitting that the value of men, in this case, because I would also like to know what dating down for men is. Are you submitting that a man's value is measured by the resources he brings.
Yeah, half of the time or even 3/4 of the time, yes.
And what is dating down for men?
It's literally, let me put it this way, women might not like it. It's a man who's earning, who has a career, going to date a woman who's a socialite and brings nothing on the table other than her body. That's dating down.
But men don't realize that sadly.
Because you see,
They're
as a
getting
man,
the
if you have a
trophy, though.
career and a life and everything, you need someone with brains to push you and to grow with you. So every time men date down, it always ends badly. Because at a point, as a man, you need someone who can mnaleta akili pamoja, you grow. Now, if every time you're thinking of investing, oh, I want a Brazilian wig. Oh, I want that's men date down so much. It's not even funny. A man who has everything just decides, dem ni msupu. Wow. Like me, I get so wowed by reasons where men marry you. Like, you married her. Me, nataka watoto light skin. Wow. Like, and he's so serious. You're like, wow. It's like when men are marrying, their brain becomes an empty space. Like men date down so many times.
But people measure value differently. Kuna watu wanasema men look for peace, right? You may date down. Okay. There's a difference, but you may date down in terms of them, a woman who cannot match up to you in terms of resources, but in terms of the value that they bring to you as a person, the peace that they give you in your space of work, they actually complement that. I disagree with something walikuwa naimba. It is true, but partially true in the modern world. At whatever you give a woman, she will multiply.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, God.
But not all
Yeah.
women. But not all women. But let's be honest, smart women.
Yeah.
We have to agree as much as they are smart men, they are smart women. They are dumb men, they are dumber women or dumb women. So it depends on the type of person. It all comes down to the person. If you have a smart, hardworking woman, whatever you give her, she will multiply. If you have, a woman can either be an asset or a liability. If you find a woman who does not, that's why I'm saying sometimes you date down, you find a woman who, no offense, has no brains, is very materialistic, that's all you'll ever get. Spending. You have, it all comes down to the person sometimes. But I repeat, and I always tell women or even men, do not date down. It comes at a cost sometimes. You see, dating down also looks at someone who has insecurities. If you date down, this person will always make you feel guilty for who you are. You get?
Yeah.
You're kingori, so you're dating someone, no offense, pengine, ni receptionist, mahali. Same receptionist ni wabaya. I'm just giving an example. So every time they see you on screen with amazing people, they'll always make you feel bad for being that person.
Yeah.
Ojoe maisha yako ni kwa media, watu wanakujua, you get? And it's because you're not on the same level, you get? You're dating someone who sees you in suits every day and their life is maybe they're doing nothing with themselves at all. They will come and use that against you at some point. And it's just natural because they will feel they are doing nothing. So you have to be very careful with dating, very careful. And sometimes it's not even money-wise, it's social status. It's brains, where are you? Unafikiria kuinvest, mseki unafikiria ni kwenda sherehe. Mtaenda vasha siku gani? You do not date down. And sometimes you're like, oh, I'm compromising, they won't grow to your level. So you end up unajishukisha, you settle too much and it's not good.
So hakuna kitu kama hii, you wouldn't advocate for the concept of empower your woman. In fact, people have been
Fanya nimesmile. Okay, uliza.
Hata najua ushajua mali naenda.
Uliza, just ask.
Empowering your woman. You find your lady, unampeleka shule. Of course, I know in this, the stories that I think people should share and talk about so that other people can learn from experience. In the Institute of Character Development, my mom's friend has a son who educated a girl through School of Medicine. Through the School of Medicine. The guy is a cop. She graduated. And married another doctor.
I mean, if you
Hakunanga
become
gratitude.
a doctor, would you marry down?
And down here is marrying a policeman.
Doctor, sir, afande is not. Does that sound right to you?
But it is this person who actually, you are a doctor courtesy of this person's sacrifice.
They will ask you the hardest question. I always tell men, and I'll say this, do not be a father in a position of a husband. Be a father to your children. That's it. And it may sound harsh, but I mean it. Because that person will one day ask you, did I ask you to do it?
Yeah.
And that is so painful. At yo, I'm trying to empower. You will see fire. At yo, I want to empower her. When you empower her and she goes up, she will want someone of her level. That's an exact example of I will not marry down. You make me a professor. Yeah. That's a good example of
Hakuna ati.
Me, my name is Dr. Anita, and then Afande Kimani. Kopro. Hata unasikia ni kama zina match.
Na bado analipa loan ya wewe ndio uitwe doctor.
How do you even take a loan to educate someone's daughter? No offense. Why? Listen, know your role in people's life and act accordingly to avoid pain. If you're a husband, provider, protector, but it is not raising them. It is not raising them. Very big difference. Raise your children. If you're a wife, play wife duties. If you're a girlfriend, kindly, wacha kwenda kwa mtu kufua kila wiki kama mama fua. Be a girlfriend. Hata kitanda usitengeneze. It is his house. You know, if you're potential, act like potential. Don't be out there playing girlfriend duties.
So will they be able, when someone is your girlfriend and they don't play wife duties, how do they transition into wife duties?
Make them wife. Don't start here.
Yeah.
Don't. Wanawake msidanganywe ati act like a wife so that he can make you a wife. No, make me a wife so that I can act like a wife. Wanaume umetuzoea ati usipofua nitapata mwingine pata. Hizo breath the dog. Ati you know me, I see things on social media ati natambianga na pan nikienda kupikia chali yangu guys.
Yeah.
Me, if I am a girlfriend, I will not attempt to be your wife.
I know the
never.
lady.
You know the lady? Ati mimi sikudanganyi. Me, if I am a girlfriend, I come to your house, I leave it as it is. It is your house. If you want it to be mine, wife me.
Very nice.
Ugongo umejivunja mgongo.
Anasema tu very nice.
Unachomeka na hana insurance huko kwa insurance yake unachomekea kwake guys. So, dear men, kindly stop overdoing. Ati were they married legally? Kingori, that woman, were they married legally? Were they married legally, Doctor and Afande?
No, I believe
It gets worse.
What kind of mental madness is that?
you are going through a process. You are growing with your person.
7 years of medical school and I'm not married to you and I'm paying your fees. Bro.
Hiyo ni kujitakia.
So, but see, it means that even if you're married, basi utatokwa tu bado.
Let me tell you something. I say this and I mean it. When you educate someone, be ready for the consequences. Because they will go a notch higher than you. And I'm telling you for free, the language will change. I told you when a woman gets power, I'm telling you, when a woman gets power and money, what did I say as we begin? They will start seeing you differently. Anaanza kuona ako juu yako. That's 100%. For the dynamics of a marriage to work, you have to play your role well. Don't overstep. Oh, I want to getting a business for her. That's the kind of empower. It's a business. You understand? Biashara unaweza account for ujue pesa. Ujue pesa inaingia inaenda wapi na tusaidia aje. Unaelewa? It's something you can do together. Education you're not doing together. She's learning, you're left there.
Then men are not safe.
Let me tell you.
Wachana na Afande. Men are not safe in this sense. Men are not safe in this sense. We have this narrative and I think it complements the story. Yeah? When a man, as a man, when you outlive your usefulness in a woman's life, story yako imeisha.
It's true.
And that's why we have those stories are the stereotype associated with wase wengi wanasema ati Kiambu specifically and I think it's offensive, but I'm just referencing the stereotypes. I'm not saying that's what happens. Ati there's a trend. Ati you educate your children to university wakimaliza shule, we story yako imeisha.
You're done. Your job is done. The fatherhood part was important. It's done. It's a sad thing, and the reason I say this is because people enter marriage with a clause of exiting. People no longer enter marriage as a lifelong commitment. It's a service-long commitment nowadays. How long are you going to serve me? How long are we serving each other? That's a problem. It's not a long term. It's a service term. You get. So we come into marriage knowing I want to be, and that's a problem. We made marriage have exit plans. You get.
But if your marriage did not have an exit plan, you would not be here today.
I know it's true. Right. It's true, 100%. But then we made the exit plans come before the marriage. You get. Like unaingia kwa ndoa ukijua. Have you ever had this, no offense, the younger people say, hey, me, I'm getting married, but you know, just in case it doesn't work, I'm giving it a year to see how it goes. You get. It's not, I'm working on this till the last minute, till it really can't work. They don't get into marriage to work on it. I once asked my friend, if your nail breaks, do you cut the finger? No, you allow it to grow back. It's a nail, it broke. You fix it, you work on it. But then we don't have that anymore. These ones will just cut the finger and put on a plastic one. No, we are quick to cut things off and not work on fixing them. It's broken, throw it out. It's broken, throw it out. You get. I think we need to redefine marriage by seeing marriages that are working.
Marriage, ulisema vizuri sana. You pointed out that you don't marry for love.
No, don't.
Mimi, I submit that kiukweli, the marriages that last, one, passionate love out of the question. Companionate works. Number two, marriage is an economical decision. Marriage is a political decision. Ukweli wangu.
And I'll also go with it's a social equation. Nowadays, we have social media marriages and they work perfectly, which leads into an economical decision, right? And if you marry for love, it will not last long. But if you
unasema hivyo tena ndio
Adah, if you marry for love alone, like the basis of this relationship is love, it will not work. Because other than staring into your eyes and seeing stars, one day I'll stare into those eyes and I'll be very angry and there will be no stars. I need a reason that will make me stay. So we have to get away from the mentality that love is the basis of a working marriage. It's not. A working marriage is two people who are committed to working towards staying together. It's a daily commitment of you choose this person and you decide to work on things with them. Marriage is removing I and replacing it with we and us. And it's a hard thing, you know. You're a grown-up. You're coming there as a known person with your own life. It's compromise. It's meeting in the middle. But then we get into marriage so selfish. You want to keep your personal life, like all of it, and a marriage life. You can't.
But see, we are told don't lose your individuality.
You cannot keep all of your personal life and a married life. It doesn't work.
No, your individuality.
Yes, but you cannot bring all of it into your marriage. You have to trust you me, it's a compromise.
All this for what?
That's a question you should ask yourself. When you're getting married, you ask yourself for what? The why of why you're getting married makes the how easy. Why am I getting married? Is it for companionship? Is it because I need a social status? Mrs. is a good title, you know. Is it because this man has money and I want to grow with him? Is it because I see potential? Why are you getting married? There's that movie called Why Did I Get Married? Why are you married? Because the why is the reason the how becomes easy, you know. Yeah. And the why is the reason you can always go back. I married this girl because she's beautiful. If that is your why, mukikasirishana, look at her beauty. It will keep you grounded. Yeah. I married this guy because he's rich. Mukikasirishana, the money keeps you grounded.
And the money, if the money
I married this man because he's kind. He got south, the kindness keeps you grounded. So the why are you getting married is so important. No, oh my God, I can't live without him. But then that nonsense is the reason people harm each other. Because what do you mean you can't live without this person? What if they actually live? You know, no, you don't have a life. You get? So you have to find a very strong why for anything you do in a relationship or even in life. Why are you doing it?
Najwa, again, I believe they all disagreed with me nikisema, women, and I quote Jacob Aliet on this, he's been a guest on our show, that women cannot love men the way men can love women. Now, this is because your love is survivalist in nature. Nyinyi ni survival, right? The example given was wakati the Germans walikuwa wameenda wakaua watu like during a war. Madame went and married the people who killed their husbands.
To survive.
Like, ni aje si tuna survive. Right? Hata kitambo hizo during my wars nini. Madame walikuwa wanaenda side ya wase wamewin. Now you get families huko na life goes on. So
Adah is just about to do like
but women will, it's said that when a man leads well, a woman will follow.
Exactly.
Sasa nyinyi mmeua our husbands. Clearly you are the leaders. Therefore.
Leadership kwanza unasema gani na ulisema you
don't
want to be told.
No, I feel like as a woman you're attracted to dominance. A man who can lead. Yeah. A winner.
It will depend with your tone. Don't also talk to me like a child.
Why should I choose to suffer? Why?
I think one thing age and time will teach you is to be decisive. Because I was once like you.
This is beginning to feel like
I feel like
is
I'm
it the 3 stones?
Like
Nyinyi ni makuka zetu. Where do you
because
grow
I love you saying it from a point of being young. Oh, Mimi, don't talk to me like a child. I talk to you how you act. I treat you how you behave. If you're depending on me to lead you, I will address you as your leader.
Yes.
And if it comes out as a child, then you really need to start. If you want to be treated like an adult, act like one. If you come to me for leadership and you're following me because of my dominance, then listen, if I look at it in dominance and submission, then how do I talk to someone who's submitted to me? How do I talk to them? Not in a demeaning tone, it is in a tone of someone who cares for you, who's nurturing you, who's nakulea in short, for lack of a better word.
Basi umesema watu wasileane.
Exactly. So wateni kusema mnatafuta mtu mwenye anawalea.
But I've heard about this. Sijui kama ni ukweli. I've been told as a man, when you're outside in the world, be dominant. Tisha watu. Wewe ndo ule mse. But when you're with your wife, tulia kwa mnyonge, acha ubembeleze kidogo. So I feel like, yes, tishia the world out there. But when you're with me, jamani,
but you can
tone it down.
A man can lead na upole. I feel like, can you do that? So you can tell me, babe, sit down, we need to talk. No, babe, sit down.
Oh, that's what you mean?
Yeah.
That's the tone of the voice. That is not leadership.
I said tone.
Okay.
Yeah, I said tone.
Oh, I'm going to discuss tone.
Can I say something? I feel like throughout this whole conversation, I have sat here and I feel like me and her have been a bit speechless because ninasikia ninaogopa kuzeeka. Ninaogopa relationship. No, I am like, oh my God.
Show ni hao na wataki kuongea.
Hapana, it's scary.
No, we are being schooled. I feel like I've been schooled. And so I was listening. Yeah, I was doing most of the listening. And again, as I said, in Nakatu 3 stones, na our Bukas are here.
We love you. 3 stones, actually. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Don't ever be afraid of a relationship because the only way you learn how good or bad they are is by experiencing them and making mistakes. But don't make our mistakes. Make new ones.
Yeah.
My rule when I wrote the book, I told my son, he's turning 16 this year, you cannot make the same mistakes I made. You have to make new ones because you already are learning from mine. So guys, when you enter relationships, one, you know yourself, love yourself. You're learning from our mistakes.
Yeah.
Don't be unworthy of yourself. I'm working with a lot of young people, actually Gen Zs in my journey for the last, I think 6 months. And I have made them do affirmations every day. I am pretty. I love my eyes. Small things, but that remind them you are enough. So relationships, through these relationships are beautiful. I have been loved right. I have been treated like, hey, baby girl. But you're like, guys, mimi niko in my soft girl era. Like, mimi sijui hard things. Mimi sijui kushautiwa. Mimi sijui kuharakishwa. Guys, I don't know. Honestly, right now, I don't know that. Ukinikatia, I'm like, please, kuwa mpole. Me, I napenda soft life.
Yeah.
They are very nice, but also you also have to be very careful to see the red flags in relationships, to understand, to know yourself enough that when you get into a relationship, you're not seeking validation.
Correct.
All right? So by the time you guys say you're dating, you're like, by the way, kuna vitu mi sitakubali.
Yeah.
As Adah said, we settle and we take in so much BS. So I pray and I hope that from a conversation like this, ukiingia kwa relationship, mtu anakuambia kitu, you're like, bro, imagine najipenda. Na kwetu napendwa. Mimi hautanifanyia vitu kama hizo. So don't be scared to date. How will you know? You know, you have to. You go out there and date and you say, I'm going to have 3 dates this year. Kamkemani, Jogona, and Mosh. You're there. You know, dating, I keep saying, is not a relationship.
Yeah.
I'm old school. Unless the man takes dominance and asks me, will you be my girlfriend? You can take me out every day. Mimi nikiulizwa mimi niko soko. Ujanitoa soko.
You didn't make the first move.
Ili useme I was desperate.
So make the first
I wanted
kwa work.
Unaona huyu workmate kwenye nilipeleka 10 days in a mental hospital. That's okay, morning. Me, I told people, actually the one thing I've been doing since then, I refuse to take dominance. Because the man will be like, oh, you're not letting me be the man. By all means.
No, manze, but it must really hurt to be a woman. Unaweza penda mzee kabisa na hautawahi say.
Mimi kuna mwingine true story last year, all my friends were like, hey babe, mwambie. I was like, nimwambie na I'm like, na kwambia nilienda dates. Then one day he was like, what are we? Ngambia animals. Because
can you be the man?
Me, and I kept telling him, I told him, you can take me out every day. Until the day you're like, hey, Anita, I think I want to get into a relationship with you. I will still say I am single. Because I believe as a woman, if you keep saying you're dating someone who has not said they're dating you, hapo kwa relationships, I believe the buck stops with the man. Unless he says, sasa utakuwa demi yangu uko single.
No, the rule is, Okay.
Ngoja ni interrupt kidogo. So can we say, okay, mi nimeambiwa, while you're dating, you're not supposed to close that door.
Exactly what I'm saying. You can date different people.
Exactly. So you only settle once you're married. But when you're
not
dating,
married.
mi nimeambiwa hivyo.
Havana, I said until someone asks you. I believe dating is not a relationship. Dating is going on dates to get to know this person.
Yes.
Until they cuff you down, like, see marriage, can you be my woman? Exclusively. Now that is a relationship.
Yeah.
So dating you can be, leo nimepelekwa date na nani, it's free food anyway.
Okay.
Yes, because women, me I look at it like, tunaenda wapi, a new place to sample. Why not? Which movie are we watching? Me, I'll go. On those dates, me, because guys, if you see me out there with different people, I am dating. Until one says, Anita, I want you to be my girlfriend. Then I can say,
And you say yes.
What's the difference? Okay. Kuna kitu nilikuwa kusema no, it's okay. Nini, men, the rules are, women control sex by default. Men control marriage. Tushikiane hapo mahali.
Men control what?
It's the opposite.
Men control marriage.
What do you mean?
No, women control sex. You are the gatekeepers of sex. But men control marriage. Yes.
Expound.
Hapana. Me, I feel like a woman is the glue. She holds the marriage together. And I feel like men, mi sionangi kama mnafikirianga kitu ingine while in a relationship.
When he says the gatekeepers of marriage, he says for a marriage to happen, a man is the one who's holding that decision. Trust you me.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
A woman can be wanting to get married for years, and unless a man says yes, that's hard.
Now, what's the difference, before we close, what's the difference between dating, leaving the options open, na kukula do ya wasi? Chewing people's money. Because you guys look like you just glorified chewing people's money.
Listen, am I forcing you to, am I forcing you to spend the money?
No.
Also, you can.
So you're also willing to spend because why are you not making your what do you want?
So I can have money. I can have money, or I can choose to keep my money. Let's date, but my money is out of the
picture. Pesa yako. Me, because someone's money does not stress me, honestly, because I never ask for things I can do for myself, number one. Number two, if you are the one asking for the dates, me, I'm usually so straight up and honest. We can keep doing this, but unless you ask me and make it official, I am single. But if you enjoy my company, Anita, I enjoy talking to you, by all means, wandaka tukule wapi next? Ooh, I even have suggestions. I am not forcing you. That is not robbery. It is you wanting to spend your money.
It's true.
That is not robbery.
It is not because the worst thing, a shallow man will want to show you the money he has. By all means, show me your shallowness. Conversation. Show me your shallowness. Why do you want to take me big hotels? Take me. If money is all you have, by all means, let me use it. If that's all you have, a man can take you to a simple date. Haitapita 500 na muongee mpaka 5 a.m. in the morning. But then those ones for, I saw this restaurant, I wanted to show you. My child.
Take me.
Because that's all you have.
So you'd rather chill with someone who is pure vibes in a Kibandanski.
Of course.
Than someone who has money and no vibes at Kempinski.
Of course, me, I pick, if you ever look at my dating chat, I pick brains over anything. If I can't talk to you till 5 in the morning, I'm not dating you. Me, I hate boring conversations. Hey, ati msee amekaa hapo amekwambia, unajua juzi nilinunua hii, juzi nilifanya hivi, juzi nilikuwa. Me, my face just changes like, bro.
Isn't that signaling? Isn't that signaling to show they can take care of you?
That is signaling to show you're shallow. You empty. Kichwa ni roundabout ya hewa.
Like, how do you know? Because mnajua kusoma, like naturally, born with it. How do you tell when someone has money without them telling you? What is sign language for I have money?
How they carry themselves.
That's hilarious. I'm looking at my catalog in my head. I think the way they talk, really, you can tell a man who is bragging, he might have money, yes, but in a relationship, it's not sustainable. That relationship will not be sustainable. You won't gain anything from that. For example, I know of this lady. I don't know her name. I heard this story somewhere. Rich man, they went for a date in a very flamboyant place. This man, you can tell, hakuna story at all. He's not even making eye contact with you. And this is a date. Kidogo, he's calling his boys, bado uko kwa ofisi. pitia. This is a date he called you for to a flamboyant place. But suddenly, he's calling Bestie to come. Bestie comes. Kidogo kidogo, next table, there's this, you can tell this two girls who just stay there to be called. Do you know, they called the babe to the table. So a date has turned to a foursome, quote unquote. And that's it. That was just him trying to show you, easy vitu zote, I can do this. And then wakahamishwa wakaenda to another even bougie bar, just flamboyance. That's how you know that guy is brainless, really. It's just a show off.
So that you know someone has money when he shows you he has money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's
When they don't tell you they have money, they show you they have money.
They force it on to
On
you.
your
can I break your heart? That's a broke person. Money is extremely silent. It's money. Why would money speak? It's money. Money does not even introduce someone with money. Looks and smells like money. They will never say they have money. The way they carry themselves, they never have to say. The moment someone tries to do anything to show you they have money, there's a difference between being rich and being wealthy. Big difference. Richness is no offense. Pesa kidogo kidogo yenye umeshika, new money, ndio inakusumbua, you want to show off. That's not rich. That's flashy. That's showing off. But someone with money, they do not need, and their standards are already high. They're not even trying to impress you. It's the things they do on a normal, it's natural money things to them. But then they don't even realize them sometimes, you know. Mtu anakuambia kwenye anakunywaga chai and you're making your face, but then they're not showing off. They're being genuine. And they never tell you, I have this or that. The moment, kwanza men, a man tells you, is that lie?
You know, now that I think about it, yeah? Did I sound like this man when I was telling this guy, I'm on Netflix? No, really. Because the same way a man would say, I have this and that, so maybe aliona ni kama I'm tryna
To prove
but
yourself.
I find that very problematic.
No, sometimes it's good to let someone know who they're dealing with. Yeah. Well, si mtu hivi. It's not a matter of showing off.
Fun
like,
fact.
girl.
Fun fact, I'm on Netflix. See the fun fact about me. Check it.
Sasa kama hapendi fun facts.
Let's not. Huo mtu tunafaa tuketi chini tuongee vizuri.
I think my entire career or my entire media life, I've never introduced myself with what I do. Because I believe that is not who I am. It doesn't define me. I've refused to allow anything that I am define me. I asked the other day, what are you without the titles? If you remove you're a daughter, you're a sister, you're a sibling, you're who you are named, who are you? Most people are empty. They have nothing, actually. They're shallow. So over learning something called shadow work in therapy, I decided, who am I when I'm not a media personality? And I decided to look at that. So I don't want, why would I feel the need to tell someone who I am? Asifikiria mimi mtu hivi. If I can't change how they think about me, you understand? I never have to prove it. Oh, I'm so and so. I've never. Even when I introduce myself, I never say my full name. Hi, I'm Anita. Na inaishia hapo. Like people ask me, what do you do? Oh, I'm a mom. By the way, I say it and casually and I let it go. I refuse to define myself by titles because then it means I really have nothing else. Because if you take away that, then who? I want to come and say, me, I'm Anita, I'm a loud, noisy person. I laugh. You know, that, and we sit down and talk. And it's not because I'm not proud of who I am. I just feel like if that's what I'm bringing on the table, it's like I'm coming to prove myself. I don't like, that's just me, to be honest. I always feel like when someone introduces, I'm so and so, and I feel like, wow, okay, unataka aje after that. Sawa nimejua. Then I always feel that way. Like, okay, mimi ni Dr. Kingori. Then
So it's a fun fact.
It's not fun. And it's not fun. And chances are, honestly, I'm being honest. That's me. I'm just saying that's me. And all the time, even with my circle of friends, we have a rule. When we introduce ourselves anywhere, it's not by what we do.
Mimi acha niseme, hii show tukiendelea hivi. I'm very tempted to say something else, but tutaendelea mpaka kesho. This is the Institute of Character Development.
Oh, yes.
Adah na Miss Kahiro. Please, thank you, Anita, for gracing day one. I think you should bring Anita more often.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ndio,
Yes.
manze.
Me, I'm a changed woman.
Me, I'm so confused.
Hakuna dem
Let me be
anaweza-
honest.
hakuna dem anaweza change na
I'm so
podcast moja.
confused.
Making over the
Yes. Anyway, I've enjoyed the conversation kabisa, si ndio? Ambieni watu wenu wapatie suggestions on things they would like conversations za kukua, and I believe that's it for episode 1 ya Character Institute of Character Development.
Yes. We want to make this a very open conversation for Gen Zs. Tuongelee hizo marriages, careers, what else, babes?
It's a safe space. We want to create a safe space.
Mental health.
As a Gen Z, kamera yangu iko wapi? Germany, I'm addressing my people. So as a Gen Z, the reason why we're doing this is for you guys. Me, sometimes as a Gen Z, I usually wish I could listen to a podcast and I feel like it's actually helping me. So that's why we're doing this. If you feel like you have a story you want to share, tuambie, ukitaka kuja kwa podcast, tuambie, we're doing this for you guys. Yeah.
And because we are going to be aunties now, after 10 years, we'll watch ourselves back and, now start giving advice to the then Gen Zs.
Yes.
So we are creating a legacy here, and we love to have you be part of that as well. So we close.
Yeah.
ICD, we out. Bye.
It's been real.
Before tuseme it's been real actually, asanteni. So this is it tutaika hapo nyuma. Wadau, also please get Anita's book inaitwa Unseen. Stalking at Nuria Store. This is just a highlight. It's just a tip of the iceberg. What you've shared, Anita, is a whole library of experience. And I think I should have asked this kabisa. Kama, we should have asked this actually. Kama, you feel now you would be ready for the institution of marriage, how you would approach it. And I think you should carry that forward to the next conversation. I think we have not delved into the life cycle of a woman, whether the experiences you've had have been necessary for you to be where you are. Your survival story, please get a copy of Unseen from the Nuria Store.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for gracing us, Anita.
Bye, welcome.